Hey guys, listen, ain't no party like a GHOE party, and a GHOE party don't stop. If you have never heard of North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, you're missing out. As the largest historically Black university in the country, we have earned our place in history more times than I can count. Our homecoming weekend, affectionately known as GHOE, happened this past weekend. My husband and I went. I don't know if you know, but my husband and I are both graduates of North Carolina A&T State University, as well as we have a daughter who is a senior at North Carolina A&T State University as we speak. And for the last 4 years, this is the fourth year, my husband and I have gone to homecoming. My good girlfriends and I have kikied it up over the weekend, and I've been able to show my daughter how to get it done, honey, in college. I don't know if she followed me because she seems like she doesn't want to do a whole lot of partying, but her mama has done some for her. Anyway, guys, I hope that you are excited to be here for this episode of the CEO Mindset Podcast, because I'm excited to share with you some lessons I've learned over these past 4 years about GHOE. And if you've ever thought about it, because it has become a viral sensation on TikTok, I think everybody's talking about GHOE. We had so many celebrities at our homecoming this year, and it's just been progressively becoming a celebrity spot that people talk about. It has grown to be crazy. It was very crazy this year. And so that's going to be a part of the lessons that I'm going to share with you as well. But it's just not a little thing anymore. It has grown into something huge, ginormous, crazy. Okay. So there's some lessons that you're going to want to hear about that I've learned that will help you in the future if you decide to come. And if you have a child who is considering an HBCU, please check out North Carolina A&T State University. It is amazing. It has produced some of the world's best talents, some of the world's most amazing people. Some of its innovation from our engineering department are just crazy, phenomenal. So I think you should consider it. And if you are not considering sending a child or going to NCAT yourself, you may be considering going to GHOE. And if that's the case, you're definitely going to want to hear about some of the lessons that I have learned as not only a student who attended GHOE for a very long time, for 4 years, but also as an alum who has attended for the last 4 years as well. A lot of things have changed. And as a proud member of the class of 95, I can say for the better, for sure, the campus is beautiful, just beautiful. So anyway, let's get into some of these lessons that I have learned that I think are going to be very helpful to you if you decide to either go to A&T or if you decide to go to homecoming at A&T. These are some lessons. Number one, if you are an alumni, then you should definitely get on all of the email lists that you can get on, because one of the things that my friends and I typically do that we were not able to do this year is have a tailgate spot. Now, tailgating is a thing on campus during homecoming. And it's important to get on some of these email lists, because that's when you'll find out when, number one, tickets are going to go on sale for the game if you don't have a season's ticket. It's also where you'll learn about all of the university sponsored events that are going to be happening. Like there are going to be concerts, there are going to be, different vendor events. There are going to be different, if you went to A&T, the different colleges have luncheons. So you're going to want to be on the email list to hear about all of those things. Also, you're going to want to be on any promoters' email lists. I worked with an event promoter this year, very proudly, to help him establish an email process so that he can keep up with and engage with those who attended his event throughout the year to keep himself top of mind. And sometimes those email lists yield discounts, early bird prices, things like that. So you'll definitely want to be on these email lists. If you're an alumni, for sure. If you are just interested, there are general email lists that you can get on. Go to the university's website. And then if you want to attend any events, there are several established events that I'll talk about in a bit, but there are several established events that those tickets, as soon as the promoter opens those doors, they flood and those tickets are sold within seconds almost. There's one event where the promoter, he opened up like a low level, but he only has so many of those tickets available. And then he opened up the next level, which was more expensive, and he only had so many of those tickets available, so forth and so on. So if you're not on the list and you're hearing about these things secondhand, it's possible that you may miss out on tickets to things that you want to go to, or you may end up paying a lot more than you have to pay had you, if you had been, than you would have if you'd have been on the list. The next thing that I think was a lesson that I learned this year, I said it several times to my girlfriends throughout the weekend, is that I just need a checklist. I need to have a GHOE checklist where I make sure that I am bringing everything I need to bring in order to enjoy GHOE to the fullest. Because I think if you've listened to if you've watched any of my YouTube videos leading up to GHOE, you'll know that I have been really diligent about making sure that I have all of my business, my ducks in a row in terms of the content that I create, the systems and processes that I had in place. I made sure that I set myself up for success so that I could enjoy my time at GHOE and also be able to re-enter my week this week in terms of my job and getting things back on track and not feeling stressed out about having to get certain things done in certain times. I set myself up so that I didn't have to do that. However, what in my quest to do that, what ended up happening was I forgot my transparent bag, which you had to have to get into the game. So I ended up going to a vendor, which that ended up being a good thing because we went to some of the vendors and I was able to experience an area of homecoming that I had not experienced in the 3 years prior. And apparently it's been going on. Fun Fest. I had no idea that that was a thing. And so I was able to do that when I went to go purchase a transparent bag. While I was there, I'll talk about another thing that happened, but just suffice it to say, if I had a checklist, I would have remembered the transparent bag. And there are quite a few other things that I would have remembered. Every year we try to support vendors. And so just having maybe a checklist where I, have a certain amount of cash set aside for that, or if there are different things, things that I enjoy doing just to remind myself to make sure I get them done or to remind myself that I have what I need to get those things done while I'm in town, I think it would be a good idea to have a checklist because especially when it comes to like getting your outfits ready, like we go to an HBCU, like this is an HBCU, you're not going to show up just looking shabby. No, your fit's got to be fitting. Okay. So that's the thing. So having a plan to kind of get started on thinking about what you want to wear and thinking about the events that you're going to go to. Again, it goes back to the email list. But anyway, having a checklist and making sure that you are doing the things that you need to do to prepare for GHOE because it is a whirlwind of an adventure that happens almost as soon as you touch ground in North Carolina. So you want to be prepared for all the things. So having a checklist is a good idea. There were some things that I could have planned for a little bit better. I was set, but there were some things that I could have done a little bit better, and a checklist I think would definitely be helpful. The next thing that I think is a good lesson for you to understand is that you need to stay true to your vibe. There are so many events that happen during homecoming, and some of them cater to different demographics. And, one thing may not be for you, whereas another thing may be. I mean, I graduated in 95, as I said, so there was a 90s takeover that was great, because you're listening to the music you want to listen to. You're around people that are your age group. We have similar backgrounds, and odds are you're going to find somebody that if you went to A&T, you're going to find someone in your age group if you are mindful of the vibe that you want to have when you party. There are gospel events. There are, luncheons. There are tailgates for specific groups. You may be in a sorority or a fraternity. They may have things going on. One of my girlfriends who's usually with us was not with us as much this year because her sorority line had their 20th anniversary. And so they did a lot of things to commemorate that. And so she spent most of her time with her sorority sisters, which was fine, obviously. But, having an understanding about your vibe and what it is you want to get out of homecoming, having a game plan for that is important. Now, one of the things that my girlfriends and I realized was that our tastes have changed. And though we have been very diligent in attending certain events over the last 3 years, it has become more clear to us that some of those events may have become a bit much now that everyone knows about them and you can't really enjoy them the same way as you once were able to. And we also learned about another event that happens prior to the event that we normally go to, where some of those same people are there, but the venue is a lot bigger and it doesn't feel quite as crowded. And so we are going to make adjustments because of that. But we also have had some taste change, and that's okay. Some of our tastes have changed. We no longer want to kind of do some of the same things, and our priorities are different. It's not necessary for us to spend a ton of money to have a good time because there are so many different things happening around the area that we can take advantage of that don't cost us anything, or we can decide how we want to spend our money in different ways. We just require less shock and awe now and more value and just, relatability, if you will. So we've made some decisions about next year. Even though my daughter will have graduated, I've got some nieces. I think I mentioned it in some of my videos. You'll hear about that. I've got some nieces that have, started going to A&T. And so my great friends, my sister Shelby, you've heard me talk about her forever. Her daughter's potentially going, A&T is her first choice. So she's going to potentially be going next fall. Another sister of mine, Chandrika, her daughter is a freshman this year. So, we've got, on and on. I've got another girlfriend whose daughter may be going to A&T from Texas. So I might be showing her the ropes next year. So we have just kind of decided that we're going to make a few adjustments to what we've been doing, and we're going to just stay true to our vibe. So my suggestion to you, that's a great lesson, is just don't try to do everything. Don't try to test the waters on things. really understand what each event is about that you want to go to and make sure that it's your vibe, because otherwise it's not fun. The first year we went to the World of Beer day party, my girlfriends and I went, and my husband and a good friend of his, they went to another day party, hated it. It was for young kids, and my husband and his friend, they were not young kids. They were looking for a more mature situation, which was the party that my girlfriends and I attended. And so, the next year they ended up coming to ours, the day party that we attended. But yeah, if you're not true to your vibe and do your due diligence, know kind of what's going on with what, you could find yourself having spent money to do something that wasn't that fun and wasn't that, enjoyable. The other things is that what I noticed is that in terms of staying true to your vibe is that a lot of the on-campus events that my girlfriends and I did have become more and more for a younger crowd. The tailgate was even like, it was crazy. The tailgate. I mean, I just can't even, I just don't even know what to say about that tailgate. But I was talking to some of the, some younger alums on the plane back yesterday, and they were saying that GHOE has gone viral on TikTok. And so that's why more celebrities are coming. And then more people are wanting to come because they're hearing about how awesome it is. And so that younger crowd kind of just, invades campus, and it makes it difficult for, older alums to enjoy themselves and enjoy the campus. So I think there needs to be something done about that. But, hey, more money, more problem. I just think that campus has become popular. It is an amazing school. Homecoming is amazing. They've got great celebrities that come, concerts. Stevie Wonder was there this year. Just a lot of they have something for every age group. And I think that that's amazing, but I think that maybe some of the on-campus things have become a little bit more for other people. But anyway, that's the lesson. Stay true to your vibe. The fourth lesson is Aggies are family wherever we are. Okay. So on the way to Dallas, on the way to North Carolina, my husband and I met two newbies to Dallas, two new Aggies that had just graduated and moved to Dallas. They had not been plugged in to our alumni chapter yet. And so we were able to get them plugged into our alumni chapter. On the way back from North Carolina, we met two recent graduates, but they were already plugged into the alumni chapter, but it was really good to meet them, and it was great conversation. I was able to get their feedback on the event and their thoughts on things, and that was just really, really fun. And the other thing is, no matter where you are in the world, we were in the Dallas airport, and you see someone that you've never seen before. Y'all know how big Dallas is. And they had on their Aggie gear, and all we had to say was Aggie Pride, and we got a reciprocal Aggie Pride. You don't have to know anybody really personally, but if you see that Aggie on anybody, if you say Aggie Pride, they are going to say Aggie Pride back. And they are going to be it's going to be a wonderful conversation. It's so much fun. They're so engaging, so friendly. We are family wherever we are, and we are all very, very proud Aggies. Even if your experience was at A&T, because as you all know, sometimes HBCU, administration, financial aid, especially, I don't know what it is about financial aid at HBCUs, but it is just rough in them streets with those admin people. I don't know what it is, but so we all have very similar experiences. No matter what the experience is, we are very proud of our school. A lot of HBCU students are just very proud of their schools. I don't even know how to describe it. I know people are proud of their school, but when you go to a HBCU, you are extremely proud to be a student or an alum of that HBCU. And Aggies, we're just awesome. We're just awesome. So anyway, the other thing was that in terms of us being family, is that, y'all, we had over 80,000 people at the game. Okay. And there were no incidents. That was just at the game. I swear we might have had another 80,000 just on campus. It was crazy the amount of people that were just on campus. I couldn't even begin to tell you how many people were in the city of Greensboro, but I can tell you that it is the highest grossing revenue event in that city. Period, hands down. A&T's homecoming does it for Greensboro. It brings in the revenue. And that leads me to the next lesson, is that homecoming is a great place for networking and business growth, because the city is open. Everybody's open to making money. They're open to new ideas. They're open to support. They're open to engagement. And so if you have a business that can do business with people in North Carolina, this is a great opportunity for you to share that information with them, network with them, have conversations to find partnerships, to find sponsors, to find people that, you can use as contractors to help you grow, things of that nature. It's a great place to capitalize on those opportunities from the weekend. I found it very, very easy to offer my digital business card to people and establishments when I went into them. Restaurants, we went to brunch at this beautiful restaurant, and I was able to talk to one of the owners and share my digital card with him and just say, hey, if you have any issues with marketing or if you want some help with your marketing strategies, I'd be happy to help. I was able to say too that I was working. Someone reached out to me prior to homecoming to help with some of their marketing. And I was able to mention that and say, hey, I'm willing to work. I've already worked with someone on a homecoming event. I'd be happy to help with you for something that can raise the awareness about your organization for homecoming. And it was very organic and it was extremely welcomed. Nobody was upset that I did it. And, people were welcoming, more information, new information. When I saw the vendors, there were some amazing vendors there, but you could tell they were small and they didn't have a good strategy for their marketing. One lady missed out on a sale with me because she didn't have a way to take a debit card. She didn't have Cash App, and my husband tried to give her cash and she didn't have change. So these are things that, as someone in business and a strategist, I can help businesses with. And there were opportunities to share that service with people in a very organic way. And everyone was very open. There was even a couple there that was from Dallas. She has an eyewear business. She was there from Dallas. And I bought some readers from her, and we had a great conversation about what we could do with each other when we get back to Dallas. And so it's a great networking opportunity, homecoming. So, like I said, other Aggies are willing to help. They're eager to help. And so it makes it very easy for you to come in. If you have something of value, it makes it very easy for you to share it and maybe help someone else or get help yourself. So anyway, I just thought that sharing these lessons with you could be very helpful to you. And it may not even be that it is just for GHOE. I can only speak for GHOE because that's where I've been attending the past 4 years, homecoming. And it is the greatest homecoming on earth, the greatest of all time. Someone had that on their shirt too. It said something about GHOE and the GOAT. GHOE is the GOAT. That's what it says. I think that's what it says. Pretty cool. But anyway, we are. What do you say? But anyway, during that time, whether it's your homecoming or you come into GHOE, I think these are great lessons. Make sure your name's on those email lists, whether it's the Alumni Association, your general college email list, and make sure you're on the promoters emails lists so you can get those discounts and early bird specials. Have a checklist. You don't want to forget anything because a lot of times there are different specifications that events have, different dress codes, especially with getting into the stadiums or concerts. You may have to have clear bags, whatever it is. Make sure that you know. So have a checklist. Stay true to your own vibe so you don't get caught up going somewhere and wasting money on something that you didn't want to do. Know that at least if you're going to GHOE, that we're family. Aggie Pride will get you a long way at GHOE. And if it's your college, find out what that is. What is your college's thing? And make sure that you are participating in that so that you feel like you're a part of a family. And then it could be potentially a networking opportunity for you if you are a small business coming to GHOE. This is not an opportunity for you to sell. If you've been around for any time, I said organic. It was easy to be organic and network with people because they were welcoming from an organic conversation. I was not trying to sell anybody anything, just offering assistance where I saw assistance needed and sharing information about my business with people and giving business cards. That's all I did. I was not salesy. So there is a difference. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video podcast. The CEO Mindset podcast is a place where we are constantly evolving and staying open to failing forward. We know that that is the key. That is the secret sauce to being successful in your life, career, and or business. Here on this channel, on my YouTube channel, and with this video podcast, I am sharing with you tips and techniques on how you can be authentically you in your leadership and your marketing to attract and engage those that are going to help you grow your business or your career. So if that is your vibe, please subscribe and I will be happy to do videos on things that you want to know more about. So leave me comments below and tell me your thoughts and any questions that you might have, and I'll make a video about it, and I'll see you in next week's video. Bye, guys.